I'm Zakiya, and the name of my company is Simply Magical Cakes and Treats. Is that okay?
Oh, hey, it's Killing. And today on Diversified Game, all the way from Freetown, Sierra Leone, it's Salone Bobo over here, Salone CC. We are also heard not just on iTunes, Spotify, and everywhere else you can hear a podcast, but AYV Radio, our latest partner, newest partner. Appreciate to be on at home. I have Miss Zakiya. And Zakiya, I found online because she was tagged, I believe, when people were asking about decorative cakes. And I wanted to know, wait, let me see who has some cakes in Freetown, because we were looking for a cake for a friend of ours. His baby was having a birthday, and it was a little difficult. So, Zakiya, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm okay. I'm doing good.
Okay, tell me and tell us all about your cake business. I want to know, how has this business been so far, and what are your plans to even grow it so we can see your billboard and your cakes, you holding them up on a billboard like this in the
Yeah.
future. Yes, tell us, how did you get into cakes, and more about the business.
Okay. So, my mom was a pastry chef. So I grew up watching her do cakes, and she was a chef in general, but she mostly does pastry like her. She used to work on the ship, but she had a pastry business, and she even had students coming over when I was small. So I grew up into that, I guess, and I kind of just hooked onto it. And in 2017, I started my own business when I went to college. Can I have the so yeah, I started my business in my first year in college, and it's been going great. I have clients, I have so many customers, like from college. I have some other people that are, around I would say how can I do this? The people above average. So I'm known in the popular part of it. So I have lots of clients and I'm doing good. And we also have, apart from the cakes, because that's mainly what people know. People think we just offer pastry. We also have a cacao farm. So we plant cacao and we harvest, and I used to sell the coffee. I used to roast them and sell the coffee. But the actual plan is to have like an all black, all Sri Lankan, the first chocolate company owned and operated by a Sri Lankan and African in the country. So I'm still working towards that. And we have a coffee shop that's coming along. It's not like a small cafe, that's the plan. Like maybe next year, we'll have that. So that's what I'm working on right now, a small coffee shop and bakery.
Well, you had the cheat code. If since mom was already in the industry, there was a lot of things that she showed you. You got to see. It's almost like you went
Yeah.
to college, just to learn, mom's college, how to do that. What are some of the
Okay.
challenges Yeah, what are some of the challenges that you've had in business, even though you did have the cheat code and you saw how it was done? Because so often, and this is a quote from somebody in Sierra Leone when I was telling him about his business, I said, "This is great. Why don't you do this? Why aren't you on Instagram?" And he said, we're not really business people here in Salone. And this is why we let the Indians and the Lebanese do everything, because we really, and I said, rebuke that. Rebuke that. What are you talking about? You're running a business and you're not a business person. Can you talk about the challenges you've had of not just creating, you know, the business, but getting the customers? And has there been any pushback from people saying, I'd rather go to the bakery down the street?
Lots of really. So that's one of the biggest challenges, because one thing I can say is not only for Sri Lankans, for so many Africans, and even I can go as far as say African Americans, used to support. I don't think it's, oh my God, the network. Can you hear me?
I hear you. It glitched for a second, but don't worry. Yeah, just a second.
Okay.
We're good.
So most people in general, Black people choose to. It's glitching again. Yeah. Okay. So most people choose to support. I don't know if it's the superiority. So what I was saying is, even in America, we always see that on the internet, and it's the same here. Most people choose to patronize with the Lebanese and the Indians because they think they know better. I think it's mostly the superiority complex. But yeah, that's one of the biggest challenges. Even people you're close to, people that you would say, oh, these people are friends. But these people, I think, know my business and they know me personally. So I think they'll come to me. They tend to go elsewhere because they think they know better. And because they have a whole bakery. So it's just, that's one of the biggest challenges really, because even now that I'm a little bit, I can see people know me, I still experience that. Some people go to the Lebanese and the Indians because they think they know better than I do. And one of the other challenges, you want to add something?
Yeah, I want to add something, because even here in America, people will say, I want to support Black business, but Black business, when I go knock on the door during the day, their hours, they're not open when they say they're open. Or I say I want this and they say, hey, that we don't have this right now, we're out. So as a business owner, I always ask myself, what are we doing to make sure our potential customers and clients can never say that about us, comparing to the other competition, which I have none. I don't feel I have any competition except my own weaknesses. Can you talk about some of the things that you do to make sure and reassure people right there in Freetown, you don't have to worry about this? You know, what are the checks and balances that you guys do so people can know and be reassured?
So I remember like 2 years ago, I was in a business seminar with Fabian. So we attended that together. It lasted for 3 days, and they were grooming us in business. They even asked the same question. And I remember telling the guy that for one, I make customized cakes. I don't, I'm very careful. So because some people are lactose intolerant, some people are diabetic, some people have different illnesses. So I focus on that to make a difference. Because my dad is diabetic and my grandma was, so, and she used to eat my cakes. So I tend to just shift or play around with the recipe a little bit to make it suitable for them. People that are lactose intolerant or cannot eat gluten, or, you know, I tend to watch out for that. That's actually my specialty because I look out on that aspect. And even when you order a cake, I ask questions that other people I think don't have that service. So that's one thing that I think differentiates me from them, because most people, when you go buy a cake, maybe like I've seen that my friend bought a cake from one of the bakeries here, and she just told them any design, and they sprinkle, you know, the chocolate drip around the cake. And when she went to go she told them really that the kid don't eat chocolate. When she got it back, they had an argument. Like I told you beforehand, my kid do not like chocolate. And they were like, oh no, just a sprinkle around the edges. And she told them, I don't even want that. So those are the things that I pay attention to, that I ask about.
Before you go on with that, let me tell everybody who's listening. If you're listening and you say, hey, there's this background or this glitching, we are thousands, tens and thousands of miles away. 15 years ago, we could not have even had this conversation, and we're trying to highlight this. I promise you, if I can do this in person, next time I'm in Salon, I'll do it in person.
I was so wishing for that.
Yes, and I'm wishing that we do even more business there, so I have more of a reason with my family to go out there. We relax. We're citizens of Salon. We want to be able to relax, chillax, and build. But just for those who are listening, I want you to just listen, or for those of you who are watching, just know we'll do this again. And when she feeds me cake, she's gonna take over the interview. I'm done talking. Once I have the cake, it's a wrap. I'm greedy like that. But no, go on with your experience as a business owner. I think this is very good for people to hear.
Yeah. And so the other thing is, because when I first started my business, I didn't have much room in business because I'm really in the art industry. I grew up as a person in the art stream because I recently graduated in social work. So I'm not just a pastry chef. I'm actually a social worker, and I'm presently working as the F&B manager at a resort at Laka. So when I first started my business, it was really hard for me because I didn't have any business back. Hold on. I don't even know I'm experiencing this right now.
But you know what? You know what we can do? Worst case scenario, if the network keeps acting up, I'll call you via WhatsApp, and then I'll just throughout the video part, which most of my people are listeners, through the video part, we'll put in images. So don't worry. So if that, tell me, huh?
I think it's stable now.
It's stable? Okay.
Yeah, okay. It's my charger juice.
Okay. Just in case. So, okay, go on.
Yeah, so one other thing I experienced was it was a bit hard for me because when I first started, I had no business knowledge, and I was in college. And in Africa, it's different. Everybody just believes in education, like, oh, just learn book and you get everything you want. Because most people don't believe in other professions other than being a doctor or lawyer or because they think you're idle. They think you're not doing anything with your life. Because even when I started, I had that. I have some family members that are outside of Sierra Leone. So I remember asking, because one other thing I faced was the ingredients and the equipment, the utensils, the tools that I needed for my business. I didn't have all that. And we didn't have cake shops until there was one cake shop when I started out, but it was really expensive because it was the only cake shop like in this country. It was the only known place. So everything was super expensive. When you look online, it's a different price. So I understand that they do ship to get things here, but it was more than that. It was so expensive. So at the time, getting the equipment or the tools and the ingredients that you needed, because up to now I still cannot get what's they called, tartar, cream of tartar. I still cannot get it because the last time I ordered it, send it to Canada to my aunt, she couldn't bring it because she was like, oh, when they check in at the airport, they're gonna think it's cooked because it's white powder. So I still cannot get that, and it's one of the vital ingredients like in one of the baking recipes. So I still cannot have that. So I had to substitute with lime and other ingredients. So that was one thing that I went through. And until recently, there was this Guyanese lady, I think. She married a Sierra Leonean and she moved here. And she's into cake business. She opened a really big shop, and hers is so less expensive. So now there are things that we can get very easy from her. And so the other cake shops, as soon as she started a business, and it's bigger than theirs. So the level of their game, and some prices are a little bit better now. We can get the things we need, and it's not as hard as it was before, because there were cakes that we couldn't make, that you'd have to say, just like you said, oh, I cannot do this cake, I cannot do that because you don't have the right tools or the right ingredients. So that was one other thing. And the other, one other difficulty I faced was that I was juggling both college and the business. And it's hard, especially for someone who, I was just doing the business like right out of my pocket, out of the money that I make from what my parents give me or from what I make from the little that the business. So it was hard trying to put all that together, focus on school and focus on my business. And I had no one supporting me with anything. So that was really hard to come up at the level which I am right now. So that, but eventually that it paid off because I was very serious. I have a passion for it. It's something that I have a passion for: cooking, baking. So yeah.
Let me ask you, the cream of tartar, I'm looking it up right now because I don't want people to think like I'm over Sebi and I know, all about everything. It can be made. And I'm looking at the ingredients and, this is like chemistry, or they compare it to winemaking. Have you looked at possibly making it out of its basic ingredients? Is that possible? Because I see this could be in a science lab. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, and I am not a science person, so it's a lot. I am afraid I can't even get the ingredients that are needed for that. So I don't even venture on that. I just use lime or whatever I can use to bake my eggs right now, and it works. But the cream of tartar makes it really stable and really firm. So I don't think.
Cream of tartar. It does. I'm looking at the pictures. It does look like it could be cocaine, but I'm sure there's a way. Because even like breast milk, when you bring it through the airport, they make you open it up. They test it. Some people will make you even taste, certain things.
Yeah, I know. I just didn't want to put burden on her because I got that she was afraid. She's Black and she's, of everything happening. So I didn't want her to get into any sort of trouble or difficulty in bringing that. So I just canceled it.
Okay.
I think there must be a way, but.
No, there must be a way. We'll talk about it off air because part of our business coming into Salon is to solve problems like this, because to me, difficult problems, I want hard, difficult problems. This one doesn't seem to be difficult, but as a business owner and, putting in orders, this is what many people have struggled with. The orders probably all come at once, holidays, birthdays, certain days, and to keep up with all of those orders. Have you got to the point where you have to hire other people? And now the business isn't just doing cakes or dealing with customers, it's dealing with your team members. Have you got to that point?
Yeah, many times. I think even the year that I started, because I told you I was in college, my first year, and I had a lecturer, is one of the most amazing people I've met, Paul Conte, Octopus. Most people know him as Octopus. He was one of the most encouraging people that I met when I first started. He would, instead of he's very supportive, he's Pan-African, he's just very Pan-African and proud of his country and his people. So whenever he sees a Sierra Leonean with potential, he makes sure he plays a role in helping you. So he was one of the people that really played a big part in this. It never went anywhere. Would always come with orders to me, whether it was a birthday cake, engagement, marriage, whether it was food for 100 or 300 people. It would cater everything to me. So he was the first person that actually gave me the challenge, the will to challenge myself. When I first started out, he gave me a deal to cook for 300 people. Whenever we had any event at college that he was hosting, he would give me the deal, he would give me everything. So yes, I had to hire other people. And my mom, I told you she was a chef. So it was easy because my mom would always tell me what to do or direct me, and they were all hired and paid at the end of the day after work. So yeah, I have a team. You didn't get that.
I got.
Did you get all that?
I didn't get all of it. Yeah, say it again, just so we can.
Okay.
Say that again. So
I said when I first started out, I had a lecturer, one of my policy analyst lecturer. He's one of the most amazing people I've met. He's very encouraging, and he was one of the people that encouraged me to continue my business, even when I face challenges, even when I face people who are bullies. So he always tried to encourage me. And when I first started, he would give me all his deals. whether it was for wedding, whether it was a cake, whether it was for 300 people. It would let me cater for food and pastry and everything. So it was the first person that actually gave me the will to challenge myself. I started making different things for him, different foods, different, so yeah, I do get that sometimes. And most times during the holiday season or the wedding season, especially the wedding season, it can get really hectic for me because then I have to prepare food for maybe 300 people. And I have to make the wedding cake, and I also have to be on this, on that. So I have help. My mom is one of the biggest help. She's, of course, she knows the business more than I do. And I have a team, like mostly family members, because it's much better when I work with them, because then they don't have to charge me a lot and I don't have to pay them too much, where when I lose money and the business loses money. So I mostly work with my family members.
Now talk about, since you're hiring people, talk about the community give backs that you've done, doing, or that you plan on doing, because most entrepreneurs are very giving people and they're doing it. And the reason why they have success is because they're impacting, solving problems, and helping others. So talk about your community give back.
Okay, so mostly since last year when the COVID started, I started a training because I noticed that there were young adults that were just sitting just at home without anything. School got cancelled, no business, nothing, and it was hard for these people to even get money to eat. So we started a youth empowerment program. I still have my proposal. I just couldn't continue because I didn't have the proper funding that I needed. It was actually supposed to be a very big program. I even wrote the proposal and everything, but I couldn't get the funding. So I just did the small, it was, I have computer studies, the courses that I offered, bartending, but yeah, Okay, so yeah, back in last year, I started a program, a youth empowerment project that I couldn't continue because of the funding. But I went as far as hosting more than 3 classes at Jue. That was where I was doing the youth empowerment program. We offered courses in tailoring and designing, background decorating and event planning, pastry and culinary arts, and there was supposed to be computer studies in the curriculum, but I couldn't get the computers that I needed. And my target was Freetown, but I couldn't even do the whole Freetown. So I just had to opt for Jue. Students or young people living around Jue, Calabash, and access. So I did it 3 times because we normally go for 3 weeks each. So I did it 3 times. I did it in April, June, and July. So that was when the classes ended. I still have the students. We created a very big impact. I still have students calling me for recipes, for everything. Since I started working at this new resort, I think I got 3 of them a job. They're working here now. So I'm still trying to work on that. I'm sure when I meet the right people, or people that would love my idea or love to fund the program, it would be really big. So, but that's all. That's what I'm doing. I'm hoping to do a giveaway this Valentine's Day, because mostly on February 14th, that's when we make the most money all year. Because, people love love and people love Valentine's. So sometimes we'll make, I always do so many services on Valentine's Day, and I do giveaways. So this is my first actual giveaway this Valentine. So it's not there yet, so I'm not going to tell you, but you'll see the flyers out soon. Because I remember the last time I told you I'm working on rebranding the business. Now it's a bit hard for me because I just started this new job and I'm always busy, but I'm still working with that. So we have a giveaway coming up this Valentine's Day, and hopefully by maybe 6 months from now, I can continue the previous youth development project.
Well, I appreciate this, and I can't wait to see what the rebrand is. You guys are getting the game on somebody who is starting their business, sustaining their business, And whenever you're able to hire, you're succeeding. And succeeding has so many different levels. And it just goes up, up, up when doing it right. Let the people know, because I want to know and I want to see more cakes, where they can follow you to find out and say, look, I want cake. I want cake now. And let them know how soon they have to let you know, how long it will take. Because our people globally will call you today and say, I want a cake.
Cake tomorrow.
Can you make it today?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I know.
No, I'm talking about myself. I say, no, I need it today. I want it today. Whatever it is, can I get it today? What does it take? So yeah.
I always get orders like that. So I have a Facebook page. I'm working on my website presently. I had a website before, but it wasn't properly organized. So I'm working on that right now. I have a Facebook page, Simply Magical Cakes and Treats. Yeah, so those are old photos, but yeah, you can see. I think I recently uploaded, like 2 to 3 months ago, I uploaded the last photos I had in my archive. So yeah, but I'm working on my website now, and I'm also working on the Instagram page to put the business out there and to market myself well. So, and mostly I get orders like that. Sometimes I need orders to come in like a week earlier so I can prepare better. I have people calling me like maybe today for tomorrow with an order like, oh, I want a 4-chair wedding cake for tomorrow. I get orders like that. And sometimes because I value mental health and I value my mental well-being and my physical health so much that I decline. I don't care. Even if I'm broke, I cannot make a cake today for tomorrow. I don't take orders like that. And some people are used to that. I get orders like that a lot. So yeah, I need a week's notice at least to prepare better, especially now that I have to juggle both my job and my business.
Well, you guys give her time. Off air, I'm going to talk about some systems and say, what could we do? But I'm going to let those be known for the boss over here. And I want you guys to do this. I want you, no matter where you're listening, on iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, Listen Notes, or AYV Radio right there in Freetown, Sierra Leone, on the website, or on the radio. Wow, people still listening on the radio. I want you to share this information with somebody. It will change their life. You guys be blessed.
Hi everyone. Have you ever been curious about visiting Africa? Which African country were you interested in? Kenya, Nigeria, Uganda, South Africa, Ethiopia? Which country are you interested in? My good friend, Kellen Cash Coleman, came up with a course called My First Trip to Africa that'll guide you through this process. It's only $20, and in this course you'll learn about passports, visas, vaccinations that you need before you go there, as well as a budget, how much the trip is going to cost. He also talks about what you should pack, what you should take with you, how you should travel on a budget. Did you know that $100 is worth 1,000 South African rand and over 10,000 Kenyan shillings? So imagine what you can do with $100 back home. I say back home because I'm from Sudan, I'm African, I already know how it's like. I know that, when you convert Canadian and American money, it goes a long way when you're traveling across Africa. So if you're curious, if Africa is a place that you've always wanted to go, always wanted to move there, Kellen Cash is the person to ask. Check out the course. There's a little preview you can listen to before you actually purchase it. If you're interested in this course, visit www.diversifiedgame.com. Don't miss out.